Nick. Nick.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG Reels, Facebook, anything weird, unusual, unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank the seekers, man, who's watching the videos entirely, commented down below. I greatly appreciate the support. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Let's seek the truth.
I thought superpowers were fake until I watched this. Unbelievable.
That would be a quarter, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Watch.
He just set it down. No strings appear to be attached to this currency. He's already having an effect on the money.
Is he like folding it?
His energy is clearly affecting the money. This is insane, y'all.
Could this be Cap,
He
bro?
appears to have control
See that?
over the movement of the money. This is insane. Stranger Things is based on true events. I have a long form video about it on my YouTube channel. Link is in bio. As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
Here's some hidden secrets in movies that you may have missed. Part 4. We have all come to love Monsters, Inc., but what if I told you the movie may have a more sinister ending? At the end of Monsters, Inc., we see Sully reuniting with Boo and he seems genuinely happy. But fans theorize that the world discovered him thanks to Boo and he was hunted down and killed. Sound too dark for a kids movie? Well, take a look at the toilet seat cover found in the short film Partysaurus Rex, released by Disney in 2012.
Oh, damn, that do
There
look like
really
Sully.
are some crazy things happening in the world right now. Animal rights activists are protesting goldfish racing in San Diego. A DoorDash driver attempted to deliver food to a customer at the O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, breached the security and caused no immediate responses. He just drove up to the freaking plane. After new laws in Japan, you can no longer call your child Pikachu, Pudding, or Prince. The TSA actually put out a public statement urging Americans to stop using their Costco cards as identification for security. We have developed the world's smallest remote-controlled robot at 0.01 inches tall, which is small enough to sit on the edge of a penny. A man made his final child support payment in 80,000 pennies dumped on his ex-wife's front lawn.
Damn.
What in the world was captured flying over Mexico? It's being called the clearest footage of UFO video ever. If you haven't seen the video and don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at this. Look at this. A triangular shaped craft with lights flashing that are lighting up the entire sky in Mexico. What is that? And it illuminates. This video was even submitted through online AI detectors, and as you can see, it passes as human. A secondary test was done on the video to see if it was AI generated or real. Read it for yourself.
Passed. Okay.
Some experts that have viewed the video claim it is extraterrestrial technology, while others claim it's something else. But other videos have surfaced of different angles of this spacecraft. Take a look at this. Look at this angle and watch the lights.
It's the same crowd? Yeah, it is.
So my question to you is, after watching these videos, what do you think that was flying over Mexico? Do you believe it's an alleged UFO, alleged alien sighting in Mexico? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
What do you guys think, man? We got aliens in the big 2025, bro?
The Rock actually become the next US president. Well, that's exactly what a lot of people are talking about today, because recently his odds of becoming the Democrats' next presidential nominee have surged on Polymarket above even Michelle Obama and Tim Walz. Now, realistically, his odds are still only sitting at about 2 to 3%, with Gavin Newsom and AOC being by far the top two contenders. But the crazy part is that he's up there without even saying that he's running. He has, although, dropped sneaky little hints. For example, in 2022, a poll came out that 46% of Americans would support his presidential run, and then he revealed that after that poll came out, multiple political parties approached him to see if he would run for US president in 2024. In 2016, he told GQ, "I can't deny the thought of being a governor or president is alluring." And then just a year later, he told Variety that the 2024 presidential campaign was a realistic consideration. Now, he mentioned what stopped him was his kids. He doesn't want them to be dragged into politics. But he still left the door slightly open because he told Trevor Noah in a podcast, if that's
ultimately what the people would want, then of course I would consider it.
And hypothetically, if he did run in 2028, the current odds say that he'd be up against JD Vance. So the question is Dwayne Johnson exactly what the Democrats need right now? Or would AOC and Gavin Newsom be a better option?
They almost
What do you
flipped up
think?
and told us what's going on in Antarctica, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This was a little weird to me, bruh. So Aiden asked Mr. Beast, has he ever been to Antarctica? XQC said, yeah. Then Mr. Beast said, yeah, I have. And he was about to say something. And then you could see in his face, he stopped like, oh shit, almost fucked up. And then you can see Aiden like, oh fuck. And then he's like, we're gonna talk about it all stream. And then just watch Aiden face after the whole thing. This shit is weird, y'all.
Have you ever been to Antarctica? Yeah. Do you believe in the ice wall? Yeah, I saw the ice wall. Yeah, you saw it too. I can't say it. No way. We'll talk about it later. He almost leaked it.
Now, I know y'all seen that, right? You seen his face after? You seen Aiden face after? He was just like, fuck. Aiden was like, damn, I should not ask that, John. And then he stopped mid-sentence when he said, I seen it, yeah, it was, and then he just stopped. It was what? I don't know what's going on, bruh, but I feel some weird shit between these three, bruh. I don't know. Even with this whole little water movement. I don't know, y'all. I need y'all thoughts down below on how y'all feel about that. Make sure you share this with your brother's cousin's brother, and maybe somebody will know what the hell they talking about. And double tap the screen if it's some weird shady shit going on with Antarctica.
You could get arrested
so.
for something on your camera roll you didn't even know. This new high-tech way police are catching criminals is genuinely insane and could involve you. You may have seen these AI facial recognition cameras popping up over cities, but this is going a step further online now and scanning your camera roll. We all know by now nothing you do online is truly private unless it's fully encrypted. Where old Facebook posts, if you delete them, they're still somewhere. Even Snapchat messages that, they go after 24 hours, they're still on the metadata somewhere. And authorities can scan through camera rolls with AI to find things that they need. As a new initiative to catch criminals, they're actually looking in the background of random people's photos, which is extremely clever. So a photo you took on a Friday night with the lads could be evidence and land you with the police, as what they can do is run the identity and photo of someone through the system, which scans like every photo ever, and could find this person hiding in the background of your Friday night photo at the club. Then meaning they can actually find out where that criminal was last and track down their movements to hopefully find them. But people are also getting in trouble for having certain photos on their phones, which are then being found. Pretty interesting, but also very smart. Let me know your thoughts and I'll keep you updated.
I thought I had heard of all the worst serial killers, but I had never heard of this guy. This is Kurt Werner Wickman, and he might go down as one of the worst serial killers in German history. Now, this is coming from a podcast episode I just did covering some of his worst confirmed crimes, but to show you how horrible he was, let me tell you a story. In 1989, a woman named Birgit Meyer vanished without a trace as she was leaving a restaurant heading home. Her husband was pretty quickly ruled out, and there were no other suspects really in this vanishing. But police got a tip that at one point in her life she had gone home with this very normal man named Kurt, and so police thought it's at least something, let's go check this guy out. So the police show up to his house just to ask him a few questions, and they bring a cadaver dog with them. Essentially, immediately once they get there, the cadaver dog sits down because it smells human remains. The dog proceeded to hit at over 100 sites on Kurt's property, indicating that human remains were at all of those sites. So the police are like, okay, we definitely have to investigate this guy. They get a warrant and they go straight into his house. And what they find in his basement, all the way in the back, is this locked door. Now, none of the other doors in his house are locked, and his wife says that she just doesn't ask questions about this door and she has no idea what's in it. And when police finally get inside of that door, it is essentially a torture chamber. They find torture devices, they find videos that he had made, videos that he had collected, they find women's purses, handbags, shoes, all of this stuff belonging to other women, and they find a pair of handcuffs that have a drop of blood on them. And when they test the blood, it's Birgit's. And then they start digging around his property and they find items belonging to what they believe is over 200 people.
Damn.
There is so much more to this story, as I'm sure you can imagine, and police in Germany are still trying to figure out the identity of all the people whose belongings Kurt had. I do a breakdown on some of his worst crimes. I also get a lot into his really crazy backstory, and you can listen to it on the Heart Starts Pounding podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
None of those dogs that like they train them to push the buttons to be able to speak to their owners.
Yes,
like
yes.
Outside, hungry. This person has like over 50 buttons.
It's like a plastic thing.
Yeah, and they like the dogs like touch it. But this dog, people are like, this dog is becoming like self-aware.
Yeah.
Like almost to where like there's a human stuck inside this dog.
Oh no, that's scary.
Because this dog is saying like now the dog is apparently on antidepressant pills, a Great Depression. This dog is suffering with. And it's doing like it clicks buttons like, who am I? The lady's like, you're Bunny.
Why is that button a thing?
I think
Bunny's her name.
Yeah, the dog's name is like Bunny, and they're like, no, you're Bunny, and the dog would like go over to the mirror and just like look at it, and then it goes over and clicks button help.
Oh no!
And then it's like sad, literally communicating like, I'm stuck in this dog body and I'm fully aware.
That's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
That's so scary. Could you imagine like that? Like, I don't believe in reincarnation, but imagine if that was a possibility. If like there was like some type of punishment that this person had endured.
A man tried to kill Miranda Cosgrove in her own home. She told this story about her time at USC. Some girls invited her to study together, and Miranda was so excited. She never went to high school, so this was her first like cool girl cliche moment. And to impress them, she offered up her house. So picture this, they're inside, Miranda's bringing out food, making jokes, trying to fit in, while outside, a stranger with a weapon is walking back and forth in her backyard the entire time. She had no clue, the girls had no clue, nobody realized what was happening just feet away. It wasn't until later when the police came that the truth hit. We checked her security cameras and saw that the guy had actually been there 2 days before and he was burying something in her yard. That's not random. That means this whole thing was planned. Imagine what could have happened if those girls weren't there in the house with her. This is so crazy to think about. I feel like your own backyard is supposed to feel like the safest place in the whole world. Yet something was hiding there. It was waiting, and nobody even noticed until it was almost too late. And the strangest detail about all of this is that chocolate milk was buried in her backyard. That's what he put there. Being famous does make you a bigger target, but this could happen to literally anyone. Follow for more.
Who tried to set up Miranda Cosgrove? Well, that's crazy. Like what she said, your backyard's supposed to be your safe haven, your safe place. And she had no idea, man. Thankfully, nothing happened.
Facts. Part 705. China's developing a humanoid robot that can carry a fetus in an artificial womb, where the baby would float in synthetic fluids, sustained by nutrient tubes and monitored by sensors, before being expelled by hydraulics at birth. The first prototype is planned for 2026, priced around $14,000, and will give people the chance to have children without enduring the risks or pain of pregnancy. Supporters argue it could help women who can't safely carry babies, but critics warn it strips away the human bond of gestation and could mark the beginning of childbirth being outsourced to machines.
There is now a California resident that just tested positive for the plague. Did I not just tell y'all what was about to happen? Y'all seen what happened with the squirrels and the rabbits, right? Well, now they're putting up these plague warning signs. Boy, these animals would flee. Don't feed the chipmunks, the squirrel, or other wild animals. I literally just told y'all what was about to happen. In the way how Buddy contracted the plague, he went camping. Ended up catching the black clap. I already told y'all what was the next step of us seeing all of these animals get these legions. Then what's gonna happen to where oopsie poopsie, now the humans is next. I'll wake up in the fucking morning and see this. And let's not forget, just last month in Arizona, we had the same thing. Somebody get clapped from the black clap. There's something seriously going on in nature right now. pray and hope that this black plague don't get out of control, cause it's not gonna be pretty for nobody. Yeah. And leave the fucking animals alone. The people who didn't hear it the first time.
I'm sure when I tell you this shit, you are not gonna believe it. So scientists are saying that if we live to the year 2050, most likely we'll be able to live forever. And of course, who helped them figure this out? AI. They're saying that with the help of AI, they're gonna come up with some sort of medicine that'll help us live forever. They're saying it's called longevity escape velocity. And this is another way that the elites are trying to escape their fate and play God. And the craziest part about all of this is, of course we know that this body that we're in is temporary. And they know that as well. So what they plan on doing is switching our consciousness from this body into a robot. You ain't hear what I just said, right? So if you make it to the year 2050, they're planning on taking you out of your shell, your body, and placing you in a robot along with your consciousness so you can live forever. Now I need you to do me a favor and tell me what that sounds like to you. We're put here to leave here. We're put here knowing that this body that we have is temporary. So why would they want to give us a robot body? And then I need you to think about AI. Think about everything that's going on with AI right now. Think about how smart they're making AI right now. 2050, you might just be AI. I'm out.
Weapon. He just explained the first episode of Alien Earth, man. I don't know if any of the seekers watching that, but that's literally like what happens. The plot, like these kids, they get put into these robot freaking bodies, bro, in the near future. That sounds scary.
There was such a weird call to parasites in the film. When the teacher was teaching the class the day before they all went missing, on the board, she was teaching about parasites. Oh shit! Yeah, she was teaching about parasites. And if you think about it, that's exactly what the witch was. She was a parasite feeding off all of the kids, all the people in the town so that she could stay alive. That's true. And there's a scene where the cop is like, is there anything sharp that could hurt me? Yeah. And he accidentally gets his finger pricked by one of his needles, and he gets so scared because, oh man, I just got pricked by the addict's needle. I could be infected with something, and he's freaking out. Yeah. Later in the movie, he gets hit with more needles. It was 3 different needles in his face. Now, this is really, really weird. Him getting pricked by 3 syringes at the same time, it looked exactly what happened to the parents later when the witch goes, oh yeah.
This may be the strangest fish ever, and no, it's not what you think. This sea creature is a salp, and they are found in very deep waters. And they move around the ocean by using their body as a jet propulsion engine. Although they look like something very familiar, they are just plain old fish. Would you play with it?
Dude. Can I ask how old you are? You're very young to me.
It's a weird thing, dude. I don't know if my age, I don't know if it exists.
Wow, you have a Mariah Carey connection to your age, which is, it's very fluid and...
I don't know many facts about my life, so I don't know. I'm starting to just be like my skin, like if it rips open, it heals really quick.
Wow.
Like, there's just things where I'm starting to be like, who's my dad, you know?
Wow. I don't have those, but I have the age thing.
So you have MGK, you heard it for yourself, talking about that if he cuts his skin open, it heals really fast, and he doesn't know much about his life. What is really going on here? And he also says that he might be part alien.
Do you think that you could be like otherworldly?
I've asked my mom, I said, was there any period of time you went like missing? You know?
And what has she said?
Ever like a tall, slender, creature?
That is some bizarre stuff indeed. What do you think about this? Strange stuff, man.
I don't know, maybe he really thinks he's an alien.
These people lied to us about everything. They said if we are good, we will go to heaven after we die. If we are bad, we will go to hell after we die. What if I told you this is hell right now and we don't even realize it? Please do not be shocked if you hear NASA come out and say, we're under attack by UFOs and aliens. They have nuclear weapons. We don't know where they came from or what they want. They gonna say, their technology is so advanced. We can't do nothing about it but lock down the people. All these stories is connected to Queen Elizabeth. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. These are not people. They are in different forms of life forms. They know everything about dark magic, nature, witchcraft, and hypnosis. But when she died, something happened that changed everything. That's why they broadcast these people breaking the magic wand over her casket, because her reign is over with. But people need to understand that we live in a free will universe. So when she died, her reign was over with. But guess what? There's other alien life forms that want to come here and take over after she's gone. That's why you keep hearing stories about aliens are coming here. Anunnaki is coming here, the gray aliens, the Dracolians, the reptilians, the Pleiadians. That's because this planet or this reality is a free will reality. It can be anything and everything at the same time. Energy attracts energy. So the real question is, why don't God stop these life forms from coming on our planet? Once again, it's a free will or a free energy universe. Energy attracts energy. Why do you think the media is always pushing fear, fear, fear? Every time you go to social media, you see gossip, shocking crimes, riots in cities. This is all energy. So anytime dumb shit like this take place on our reality, it's like a phone call to other life forms telling them, yo, our planet is negative and fucked up. Come and join us. We have so many people walking around like this. Can't think of nothing, can't create nothing, their imagination is gone. All they know is partying and bullshit. What's taking place right now is kind of weird because they're trying to wipe out humanity. Yes, people on this planet is being replaced by artificial intelligence or alien life forms. Why do you think this man walk around with a staff with Jesus hanging on it? That's not Jesus. That represents us. Don't be surprised if you hear a message or a warning from NASA pretty soon. Just remember, everything is dealing with energy. If you have holes in your aura field, anything can attack you. Every time you hear about shit like this, it put holes in your aura field. If you want to know more about your aura field, the Merkaba, nature, UFOs, aliens, check out the ebook.
You know, I'm Jewish and Irish. I wish I was black. Every white Jewish guy wishes he was black.
Like, this world's amazing. I mean, let's also just be real. Like, I wanted to be black.
Listen,
all the best players in the world were black. All the best.
Oh, why do you hang out with so many black people then, huh? What do you want to be black? Fucking a little bit. It's so much cooler some of the time, okay? Every white person wishes they were black a little bit. Any white person who says they don't is a fucking liar or a cop, okay? Do not believe
to be black.
Really?
I want to be black. We live in a society that emulates black people. We want to be black, dress black, talk black. We text black. I sent out a text this morning. I was like, yo, what up? Where you at? I've never said that sentence out loud in my life.
So, like, for me, I think my family's been trying to be black for a long time.
You like the Kardashians in here.
Shout out to my brothers. Let's get it. Peace.
My brother said that he was going to start using the bathroom before bed because the past few nights he'd seen a ghost wearing stripes in the middle of the hallway. The older brother told his mom about the ghost, but she claimed that the younger brother was simply trying to scare him. 11 years later, the older boy's mother asked him if he remembered the time that the cops came to the door, but he had no idea what she was talking about. The mother then explained, "You were too young for me to tell you, but one night I woke up and heard noises coming from outside my window. I looked to my left and saw a man staring into my window. She called the cops and described him as a thin white male wearing a striped shirt. Her description matched that of a murderer who had recently escaped from prison. The police reported that he had been living in the house for weeks."
So the boys are right, man. Listen to your kids.
Urban legends caught on camera.
Okay.
We need to
talk about this new way that our phones have been able to spy on us. So research recently revealed that our smartphones' ambient light sensors might be used into a camera to take photos of our surrounding areas at all times. And you guys know, we pretty much use our smartphones everywhere, so that's pretty concerning. We're constantly hearing of new sneaky ways our phones are being used to steal our data and information without us knowing. And I spend hours on my phone every day researching and editing, so clearly my privacy has been at risk. And this is why it's always recommended to have a security app installed on your phone. To be more safe and protect my privacy, I began using Malwarebytes, which completely protects me from anything sketchy like this. Malwarebytes catches and crushes tons of potential concerns even if you already have an antivirus, anti-malware, or other cybersecurity softwares installed. It also includes a VPN, which is unheard of. Malwarebytes offers web protection, call protection, ad blocking, text protection, and even identity theft protection. At the end of the day, it's important that we have an extra layer of protection on our phones because you all know we keep so much on these things. This app is available for download on iOS and Android, both offering a 7-day free trial, so stay safe and make sure devices are properly protected.
What do you guys think, man? You think you guys' phones are spying on you? I personally think so, man. I need to freaking get that Malwarebytes on my phone immediately, bro. Think about it. We're on our phone all day, man. You don't want nobody snooping through your personal data. Protect yourself, seekers. Where you walking to?
How different animals look when wet. Koala. Sloth.
Damn.
Snow monkey. Owl.
That's not no damn owl no more.
Cat.
What the f?
Rabbit.
They like morph into something else.
Hamster. Dog. Squirrel.
Get a mohawk.
How long has it been since these things happened in the world? Firstly, believe it or not, but the last time an asteroid has impacted Earth was just 42 days ago, when a small asteroid was detected in Earth's atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean. Next, the last time all of humanity was together on Earth and not in space was 8,804 days ago. That's way longer than I expected. Now, the last time an earthquake happened, as I'm recording this, was just 15 minutes ago. It was small, but surprisingly, on average, there's around 55 earthquakes each day. Moving on, according to online resources, the last time a nuclear weapon was lost was 13,030 days ago. Finally, the last time a GTA game was released was 4,100 days ago, and yet still no GTA 6.
Crazy things happening in the world right now. While a cruise ship was tilting for more than 5 minutes, they played My Heart Will Go On from the movie Titanic. A 21-year-old woman from Texas was charged for attempting to sell her newborn on Facebook Marketplace. A man actually attempted to rob a bank with only a pillowcase over his head, forgetting to cut out the eye holes. A woman's driverless taxi was blocked by a man who was asking for her phone number. A boy that was abducted from California at age 6 has been found more than 70 years later. Goldfish changed its name to Chilean sea bass for 1 week to attract more adults. A couple in Australia actually came home to find a koala in their bed. A woman in New Orleans actually stole an ambulance that still had EMTs and a patient inside. A man who was declared brain dead woke up right before they started the surgery to donate his organs. After knocking on the wrong door in Ohio, an 80-year-old man was attacked by the resident with a machete, which then he pulled out nunchucks to defend himself.
Nobody has been able to explain this creepy viral video. For the past 11 years,
A man who runs a TikTok account by the name of Dude, My House is Haunted has been pretty confident that there has been some paranormal activity within his home. He claims that ever since his wife passed away, there have been some strange and unusual things going on. So eventually, he decided to leave cameras out and record what was happening and post it onto TikTok, which is the footage that you are about to see. In this video, you can see a chair seemingly moving on its own. It moves somewhat slowly until it suddenly is violently pulled into the corner by the kitchen. A mysterious, shadowy figure can be seen moving behind the chair, and then suddenly out of nowhere, the chair is thrown into the kitchen. Now, of course, we're not really sure what happened in this video, but I'm having a hard time coming up with an explanation for this one.
Edit? Could be.
The man you just saw in that video jump into the water would never come back out alive. Identified only as Alexander online, this incident happened in Ukraine and was a part of the Epiphany ice bath celebrations. This is a tradition in countries like Russia, where Christians cut holes in ice and jump into icy cold rivers to cleanse themselves of sinful filth inside of blessed water. In 2022, 40-year-old lawyer Anna Uskova died from a similar incident. She jumped into the water, disappeared quickly into the darkness, and her body wasn't found. This man, Alexander, suffered a similar fate. He dug a hole in the ice using a chainsaw. He then asks his wife to film the video. He makes a cross on his chest, and then he jumps in. Sadly, even though they called for help right away and a rescue team was sent out, Alexander's body was lost under the ice in the icy water for over a day, but he was found the next day 70 feet away from the shore. He had plunged 13 feet below the ice and drowned in the cold waters. This is another just sad, tragic tale, and a horrific event that was sadly caught on camera.
Just figuring out how bad this movie actually was. The horror classic The Shining released back in 1980, and since then has been one of the biggest horror movies of all time. But the amount of stuff that happened to the actors on set and the actual set is mind-blowing. I thought everybody knew this stuff, but for some reason it's resurfacing and everyone's going crazy. The most famous part of the film is what happened to actor Shelley Duvall. She literally went through hell whilst filming this movie. Everybody knows about the staircase scene. She was made to shoot 127 times. But as a result of all of these takes, her hands were shredded raw from holding the bat. Her voice was gone, her eyes went extremely puffy from crying so much, and she left in an absolute mess. She was also reportedly treated extremely unfairly behind the scenes. She was isolated, lines were cut, she was constantly being looked down upon, more things that I can't even say. The film's shooting was supposed to last 17 weeks, but turned into nearly a whole year. The area in the maze where the chase scene was set was basically filled with gas all day, so people were made to wear gas masks, reportedly. And one of the craziest things, near the end of production, a massive fire burned down many of the sets. And I'm sure most people know about the other stuff. But let me know which one you want next.
These are terrifying things that scientists said could happen in the future. Up first, scientists said in 13,000 years, the Earth could be on its reversal axis, meaning that summer would become winter, and winter would become summer, which would cause just absolute havoc to any living thing on Earth. Next up, about 1 million years in the future, Earth will be drowning in lava. Earth will undergo a supervolcanic eruption, which would be devastating. Glass will then no longer exist on Earth, and the only thing that will possibly be standing is Mount Rushmore. Finally, in 10,000 years, scientists say majority of land on Earth will be covered in water. This is because the sea level will rise and just overflow onto the land. This is extremely scary, but good thing we won't be alive for it.
It's flooding? You guys believe any of that?
Scariest mythical creatures caught on camera.
Japan, Tiki Tiki. Skinwalker. Superpower, wasn't that like a shapeshifter? Shoot that. Seeing some videos about that.
You won't believe what this man was caught doing with a corpse. 46-year-old Randall Bird was caught doing inappropriate things to a corpse while he was working his shift as a security guard at the Banner University Medical Center in Phoenix. Randall's job was to bring deceased bodies to the hospital's morgue and slip them into the freezer. But during his shift, coworkers walked in on him and caught Randall inside the freezer with his zipper down, his uniform looking messy, and a body bag open. He was seen almost on top of the 79-year-old deceased woman, and when the workers walked in, he quickly tried to cover the body. The workers said that Randall looked so sweaty and nervous when they caught him, and his excuse was that he had a medical emergency and he almost passed out. His co-workers did not believe a single word and reported the incident. When Randall was interviewed by police a few days later, he basically just said the same story and said that he couldn't remember much of what happened. But not long after, investigators found his DNA on the woman's body, which proves that Randall was in fact doing what we all assumed. He was arrested and now faces multiple charges.
People are sick, man. Couldn't just let that woman rest in peace. Had to disturb her. You never know who's a weirdo, man. Or a sicko at that.
And sing this little song. Run, run, run,
Here's some tricks that give you power over your body. Part 2. If your arms ever fall asleep, all you have to do is just move your head around for a couple seconds and the feeling will go away. If you find it hard to swallow big pills, all you have to do is just lean your head forward when you're swallowing it. The pill should float to the back of your throat and be really easy to swallow. If you ever feel your body's gonna overheat from the scorching sun, just pour cold water over your wrists and your entire body should cool down. And when you're cutting onions, you can just move your tongue to the roof of your mouth to not cry.
Really? I need to try that when I'm cutting onions, man. I'm gonna use that. You learn it. Edit. You spot those easy.
The spirits in this house tried to lead me into a trap. This is one of the most haunted homes in Minnesota, the Warden's house in Stillwater. The spirits in this home are very active, especially if you ring this bell that was once owned by the minister pictured in the portrait above. During an investigation, somebody rang that bell and the portrait fell off of the wall, so of course we had to ring it. The history of this house is pretty interesting. It was lived in by 13 different wardens from a nearby prison, and multiple people have died inside of the home. But the most active part of this building is in the upstairs, specifically in the children's room. The legend of this house involves a woman named Gertrude. Gertrude gave birth to a child, but then shortly afterwards she died. And to this day, people report seeing her wandering the halls, especially upstairs, looking for her lost baby. There's a lot of creepy stuff in this house, like this outfit and actual locks of hair from the boy in the portrait that I just showed you. But the spookiest object is this doll. During our investigation, the tour guide actually had to go to the back room to bring this doll out. She told us that she keeps the doll in the very back of the house because it's so haunted. And in the past, she said the doll has typed out messages on people's phones. There's also this bed that a young man died in from tuberculosis. This is him in the portrait. So let me know, would you spend the night in this haunted house? Our full investigation from this place is on YouTube now.
People are freaking out after just realizing what happened on the Annabelle film set. Bet you 100 you didn't know this. I'm pretty sure most of you know who this doll is and the film she is from. Doesn't matter if you've seen the film or not, you probably know the main premise of the story.
Yeah.
Now what most people know as well is that there is a real life Annabelle doll doesn't look anything like the one in the film. But while the shooting of this film was taking place, some pretty bad things actually happened on the set. This was reported in the filming of every single one of the Annabelle films. Reportedly, the doll would randomly move. There would be lights flickering, plates and glasses smashing, completely random, which the producer and actors on set said they thought was just a complete prank, but no one ever owned up and still hasn't. Yet Starfin, the producer, came forward, said in particular there was one day where they were shooting the demon for the first time. The demon walks out and enters into the green room again. The entire ceiling of glass light features fell down and smashed on his head. Any other actors, as I say, claiming the doll would move. But apparently in one scene the crew were laughing because the doll just appeared in front of them, thinking one of the actors moved it, but the actors were not there and no one moved the doll.
I just want to say,
bad energy, man.
I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we gonna do, people? What's gonna happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged.
This is one of the most disturbing and unexplainable autopsy
Is he lying?
I've ever seen. In 1988, in the Billings Reservoir in Sao Paulo, there was this urban legend of a body that showed up. It definitely happened, somebody did find it, however, the crime scene was pretty much closed within a day. Like, news reporters weren't talking about it, it wasn't in the press, so it became the stuff of legend. Then allegedly, in the mid-90s, somebody working in the government released photos and an autopsy report about that body. They are extremely graphic. Let me just explain to you how strange this corpse was. The body was found to have almost all of the skin surgically removed on the lower half of the face, specifically near the jaw. Eyes, eyelids, tongue, and one of the ears had also been surgically removed. Perfectly circular puncture wounds, like surgical holes in the body, which they determined the organs and some of the muscle had been sucked out of using some kind of device. To this day, there is really no verifiable explanation for what actually happened to this person. And for additional details on this, I will be covering it on the show.
Curtain number 1. Gotta be careful when you travel, man. We learn watching these videos, bro, how valuable organs are on the black market, man. They go for a lot of money.
Wait. You don't remember what she looks like?
What was the coolest way someone has died? Well, let me introduce you to this dude. This is Ben Solomon, and he was an army dentist for the United States during World War II. Since nobody really needed a dentist in the army, and one of the frontline surgeons got injured, Ben volunteered to be a frontline surgeon in a battle against Japan. During that battle, Ben was treating wounded soldiers inside the medical tent when he suddenly saw 2 Japanese soldiers run inside. The dentist immediately grabbed his bayonet and managed to kill them, but he realized that the defensive line had fallen, and soon the medical tent would be swarmed with Japanese soldiers. Ben immediately told the other medics to evacuate the wounded American soldiers, but he himself stayed behind. When the American soldiers returned to recapture the area around 15 hours later, they found his dead body slumped over a machine gun. However, they also found the bodies of 98 dead Japanese soldiers piled in front of him. Even though he was a dentist with no combat experience, he managed to have one of the greatest last stands in history.
He said, I ain't going down without a fight. Man, now.
So you have no idea what's on them.
How beautiful is this?
Not the house that's haunted. It's your son.
Yeah, I just scare movie seekers.
Amy, was that you? I heard it. I heard something. I think there's something here.
You guys know I ain't into scary movies like that. clips as close as I'm gonna get to it.
She was upset that she missed her hair appointment, so she took her father's life because of it. On the morning of October 1st, 2021, 18-year-old Megan Amirowitz was busy preparing for her 18th birthday, which was going to take place at a hotel later that night. Since it was her 18th birthday, it was kind of a big deal for her, and she wanted to look her best, so she scheduled an appointment at a salon to get her hair done.
Okay.
As usual, her father, Conrad, was her chauffeur, and he was supposed to be taking her to the salon. Unfortunately for both of them, Conrad was a heavy drinker, and he had been drinking that early morning, so once he laid down on the couch, he ended up falling asleep. Megan tried her hardest to wake her father up, and then she realized that she was probably going to miss her appointment, and this made her blood boil. Instead of her calling an Uber to go to her destination, she decided to do something way different. Megan had grabbed a container of drain cleaner and poured it all over her father's body from head to toe. After that, then she doused him with water. Because of this combination, it caused a chemical reaction which burned away his skin. A short while later, one of Megan's friends arrived at the home. They took one look at Conrad and immediately called 911 in Oakland County, Michigan. Conrad was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. He told the medical staff that his daughter was responsible for this whole thing, but later he told investigators that he had no memory of what had happened. As Conrad was fighting for his life in the ICU, the detectives were busy gathering evidence. Once they had spoke with family members, Megan was arrested and charged. Not long after, Megan was released after posting bail. Although Conrad had survived the initial attack, he had to have both of his legs amputated, his kidneys shut down, and he had damage to his lungs. On March 6, 2022, after 3 days of being removed from life support, Conrad had passed away from his injuries. The whole time that Conrad was in the hospital, they would not let Megan go see her father for his safety, and she was very upset by it. About a week later, on March 11th, Megan's bail was rescinded and the charges against her were upgraded to murder. She was immediately taken into custody and she had to stay there until her trial in June of 2023. Although Conrad wasn't the biological father of Megan, he loved her so much. She was the apple of his eye, and while he was laying in his deathbed, he still tried to protect her when the law came calling for her. But with all the evidence that investigators had, it pointed to Megan as the one who burned her father alive. On July 25th, 2023, Megan was found guilty of murder. The judge on the case believed that because of Megan's age, she didn't realize what she had done, so she only sentenced her a 1-year sentence.
What?
While on parole, she would have to undergo a mental health assessment every 6 months. Megan would also be fitted for a GPS tracking device, have a strict curfew of 9 p.m., and this probation period would end in July 2028. If you made it towards the end of this video, thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know down below if you agree with this sentencing, and if you have any requests for me, let me know down below as well.
So much that you fake your own death to run away with another woman. Well, that's exactly what this man did. On August 11, Ryan Borgward went on a fishing trip, and that was the last time his wife and 3 kids saw him. His wife reported him missing, and when police went to go look for him, they found his kayak upside down, his car still parked, and his cell phone in the water. So obviously police thought that there was an accident and he drowned, so they had a search team look for him in the water, but they couldn't find him. But then in October, 2 months after he disappeared, police found out that he crossed over into Canada just a few days after he went missing. So imagine, at first the family's devastated because they think that their father is dead, but then they find out that he's alive and he's in Canada. When police got a hold of his laptop, they found out that this man had been plotting how to fake his death for months. He went about getting a new passport, purchased a $375,000 life insurance policy. He wiped out everything from his computer and even changed the emails linked to his bank accounts. But it gets even crazier because police found out that he sent money to a foreign account, and then they find out that he was in contact with a Russian woman this entire time. So did he leave his family to start a new life? But then everything kind of went downhill for him because he sent police a video telling them that he was safe and alive and there's nothing to be worried about. Then he decided to return to Wisconsin a couple of days ago and he was arrested for faking his own death. So my question is, what made him come back? Did his relationship with this woman not work out?
Crazy things happen.
Maybe he had fizzled out or something like that, or he just thought he made a huge mistake, man, but it's too late. The consequences for freaking your death is, I'm guessing it's pretty huge, bro. He couldn't just end it. He had to pull like a Taken, bro. Like he just freaking was God, bro. Come on, man. We gotta do better than that, bro. Just end the relationship if it ain't worth it, bro.
Happening in the world right now. A bear that attacked luxury cars in LA was actually a person in a costume, according to insurance investigators. Passengers have a new fear unlocked because the plane they were on flew for 9 hours and then landed back at the same airport they came from. Mike Tyson reminded a child reporter that she too will die someday. A police officer pulled over his own boss for speeding. A former inmate sued Oklahoma jail officers for their baby shark torture tactic. A woman who dropped her phone in between two boulders got stuck upside down trying to get it. A fire station burned down in Germany after there was no fire detection system installed. The latest study shows that self-driving cars are safer than humans driving cars unless it's dawn, dusk, or it's trying to turn. A new alleged potato cartel is being accused of conspiring to raise the price of frozen fries and tater tots across the United States.
Facts that will definitely make your skin
They
crawl.
want that money.
Too. There is more of a chance of you finding a dead body underneath your bed than actually finding it in the garbage. If you ever plug your nose during a sneeze, you can actually rupture a blood vessel in your neck or your brain and it'll cause you to bleed to death. The electric chair was actually invented by a dentist. If a black cat looks at you and runs, it usually means something is about to happen to you, usually being pretty bad.
Well, I heard someone said your body.
Take those facts in.
I agree. The best one. It is a sickness. So here's how nature deals with that. Bonobos actually have a system where if one female gets pressed by a male and she's not feeling him, she'll let out a cry, and every female in the group will pull up and put the beats on dude until he learns respect. They actually managed to nerf male aggression through the power of friendship. So you know when a new male lion takes over a pride, the first thing he does is cancel any cubs that didn't come from his. Well, sometimes the lionesses ain't having it. Sometimes they jump the new guy. There was one case in Masai Mara where a male tried to steal food from some cubs and got absolutely obliterated by the mothers. They castrated him. I can't even show you that picture. The biggest threat to a baby bear is a bigger male, and some mother bears will purposely live closer to people, knowing that's the only thing keeping her biggest ops away. Ironically, some bears choose a man. Funny. When a capybara wants to dub a guy, she'll dive into the nearest body of water and just sit there. For as long as it takes. By the way, the guinea pig can stay under 5 minutes. Female dragonflies will fake their deaths to avoid male attention. Like they'll freeze in midair, crash to the ground, and just lay there and pray that stops him. Sometimes it doesn't. Some anacondas will seemingly let the male score, only to strangle him to a flatline and then eat him alive. The more you know.
Nah, the dragonfly pulling the fake freeze, bro. Like, you know how those streamers be doing, like, con them? There was fake freeze in the freaking avoided their acted, bro. Is that where they got it from? The more you know, man. We learning out here today.
Insane true stories that you won't believe. Back in 2004, a man named Mitch who was a senior in college fell in love with a girl in his grade. After they graduated, they moved in together and began to work. And 2 years later, they got married. Not too long after, Mitch's wife became pregnant. But his job was going so well that his wife was able to stay at home and take care of their newborn baby. And a few years after that, his wife became pregnant again. Mitch absolutely adored his family. And with raising his kids and having a great job, he was living his best life. But one night while he was watching TV, he noticed something strange out of the corner of his eye. A red lamp in their family living room was blurry. Nothing else in the room was blurry to Mitch except for that lamp. He decided to shrug it off, but when he looked at it again, it was not only blurry, but it appeared to be upside down. He didn't tell his family because he didn't want to concern them. But after a few days, Mitch became obsessed over this lamp. He even skipped work just to stare at it all day long. And he eventually became unresponsive. Or to some now.
Alright, who am I mad at? You! I'll never forgive you for that. Crazy how a cereal commercial managed to gaslight us about this bird. Toucans are one of the strangest dinosaurs still alive, and no, I'm being serious. First of all, it's not even a parrot, it's basically a giant woodpecker. And they're not just fruit-loving rainbow vegans, they eat other birds. As in, they'll go out of their way to raid nests and eat the baby birds inside. Yeah, follow your nose, right? You know, and they're not also murking bats and frogs and pretty much anything else. I've even seen one life-deprive an owl. Y'all think they're cute, but I see right through them. And like this bird in reverse, you can too. The skin is so thin and translucent, you can stretch it and shine a light through it. It's like it's not even there. They also have a serrated beak. You know, serrated, like a knife. Unless you're a flying fruit ninja, there's no reason for a vegetarian to have that hardware. The signs were there. This tropical drone also has a feather duster for a tongue. That tongue's entire purpose is to shove food back down his throat, and food can be a blueberry or a struggling baby bird trying to escape, but the only way out is through the south mouth. Speaking of which, this is my life. I hate it. Understand that owning a toucan is owning a ballistic, unregulated paintball that will redecorate your home with color bombs whenever they feel like it. I just want to reiterate, any small animal you put near this bird is in danger, but if you want to put a sugar glider next to a Fruit Loops mascot, that is a decision. And they're not that bad. The babies are cute, and they purr.
That's a woodpecker.
These are scary cartoon truths that'll terrify you, part 16. Charlie Brown apparently has cancer. The most obvious clue that Charlie Brown has cancer is that he is mostly bald except for the one small tuft of hair on the front of his head. No other character in the show appears as bald, so it implies that it just wasn't a random characteristic style. The other odd thing about Charlie Brown is his down and out personality. He's always dealing with existential crises, way deeper than any normal 8-year-old should contemplate. The theory goes on to suggest the reason that nothing ever works out for him and his life is always a disaster is because he's in a hospital bed, slowly fading away and projecting his sadness into dreams.
What do you guys think, man? We learned watching these clips together with you guys, bro, that we can't take what the media presents to us, man, as absolute truth. Charlie, man, dark origins confirmed? Our childhoods are different, bro.
These are the craziest knockoffs of popular cartoons. Most people know about the amazing world of Gumball, but today I'm going to introduce you to Miracle Star, a Chinese show that was launched in 2014. This knockoff didn't just copy the animation style, it recreated entire scenes from Gumball. The main character is also a cat boy whose brother is a fish with legs. The creators of Gumball obviously found out about this, so they went ahead and made an episode called The Copycats, where the two families from the shows face off. Next, I think we all agree that the Cars franchise is a masterpiece. Well, today I'm bringing you something better. This is a movie called The Autobots, a Chinese movie that was released in 2015. The movie got immediate attention because of its resemblance to Cars. And when I say resemblance, I mean it's almost the exact same movie. The only difference is that in this world there are actual humans, and the characters are very slightly different. But it's pretty obvious that the main character is a blatant copy of Lightning McQueen. And in Cars we have Francesco, but in Autobots we have Francisco instead. The movie's director actually defended it, saying he had never seen Cars before. And there was a sequel planned to come out in 2017. But Disney won a copyright lawsuit against them, so it was cancelled.
That was the most obvious cat, bro, I've seen yet. Of course they were ripping it off. That's like copying somebody's work and just changing the words around. It's still the same.
Craziest Halloween houses you've ever seen. Someone turned their house into a castle and it comes with a dragon. This person made a UFO crash site in their front yard. You have to love Halloween to put that much effort into it. This guy built a huge scarecrow, and look how small he is compared to it. That's gigantic. Someone put a skeleton on the road and made it look like it's coming out of the ground. Before I show you the best one, I just found a way to prank your friends by replacing their text with whatever you want. If you want to prank your friends, press here on my profile, then press change your friends' text messages. And finally, I really don't like spiders, but this was very well done.
These are the strangest things that have ever been caught on camera. This video shows what appears to be a dark humanoid type creature crawling towards a bunch of boys playing soccer. Once the kids see it, they immediately run away in terror. Nobody knows for sure what this animal was, but many people claim that it was the South American mythical beast known as the Pombero. This next video was taken at the funeral of a 7-year-old girl. It shows one of the balloons that was next to her coffin somehow floating directly to her crying mother in the audience. Many people believe that this was the girl trying to comfort her mother from the grave.
Is that an edit or is that legit, man?
Male lion will step in and show everyone how it's done.
I'm so glad you said that, because I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. Now I have an excuse. Male lions can hunt. They're actually very good at it. Do you peep the 2-minute? The whole them not hunting thing, that comes from lion pride, and there's a reason for that. You see, lady lions are great at getting groceries, but they can get jacked by hyenas or even other male lions. I think it's something like they only keep 24% of the animals they take down, so it's actually the male's job to defend and kill. Kind of hard to do that when you spend all that energy catching it. Also, the way they hunt is different. Lionesses hunt as a pack running down prey. With lions, the mane kind of gives them away, so they're mostly ambush hunters. The male lions do help hunt. It's usually to help bring down bigger tanks like buffalo buffalo. They're like mercenaries. They just come in and finish the job. Simba also has to patrol his territory and run phase with any down bad males that want to take over his pride. Yeah, no pride to be found after that. Also, before they even get a pride, they're in their bachelor nomad era, and if they don't hunt for themselves, they die. Here's some other lion facts, just because I feel like it. It's actually proven lions will leave an area after murking something just to give their survivors a chance to let their guard back down. Some lionesses will purposely play paternity roulette and give up the lion yash to any males, even ones outside the pride, because not knowing who the father is actually saves the cubs from meeting Mufasa. In 2004, a man jumped into a lion exhibit and attempted to convert them to Christianity. Yeah, the cats. He told them Jesus will save you, and for his efforts he nearly got a meet and greet with him. The more you know.
Here's how shows were originally supposed to look. So Toy Story featured this much larger, wide-chinned Woody that was actually supposed to be a villain, with Buzz Lightyear appearing in a red suit. Glad they changed that. Monsters Inc. originally animated Mike Wazowski without hands and looking a bit less friendly, and Sully was completely different, foregoing blue for brown and looking a bit more dorky. Lost media of Shrek was found in 1996, which had Shrek looking a lot creepier with very little resemblance to the good-looking man that we all know and love today. Lightning McQueen was supposed to be a basic stock car with more body to appeal to more viewers, since race cars are considered to be too low. Finding Nemo originally had the whale scene with only Nemo, and made the blue whale a lot less intimidating than in the final version. Smurfs had an unpolished finish leading up to the days before final production, looking like this. And finally, Sonic from Sonic the Hedgehog movie was originally animated to look like this. Pretty cool, right?
This man was We know how that went. Thank you for those redesigns, bro. They freaking defined people's childhoods, bro. Especially, man, that Sonic redesign, bro. I remember the havoc that came out when they dropped that trailer. It was shit on Twitter. They had to go back to the drawing board. Thank you for that, bro.
Sleepwalking every night to an abandoned well, and when people found out why, he was arrested. Part 2. Inside, they found barrels of gunpowder. It turns out Assad was sent to the village by a large mining company. The village was actually built on a large gold deposit, but for years the villagers wouldn't let the company mine it. So every week the company would send Assad a shipment of gunpowder, which he secretly poured down the well. And when the time was right, he would set it off, causing a massive landslide, destroying the village and letting the company mine the gold. But before I tell you what happened, if you want to erase corrupt world leaders that invade other countries or really anything from your photos, you need to try this. Just press this button on my profile and try erasing something. Since Assad was always thinking about this plan, he would subconsciously walk there while he was sleepwalking, which ultimately got him caught.
The ultimate sleepwalker, bro. He was dedicated to that plan. Don't know how much that had to be drilled into you, bro, to be doing that while you're sleeping. I've never seen a sleepwalker before. I think that's weird, bro.
3 facts that could save your life, part 5. If you ever find yourself trapped on a thin piece of ice and have no way of getting back to safe land before it breaks, lie down on your stomach and start slowly crawling back to exactly the way you came in on. That'll put less stress on the ice, making it almost impossible for it to break. Most people understand flags on shorelines, but the purple flag confuses most people. The purple flag being the warning that the most dangerous sea creatures are in that exact area, such as jellyfish, stingrays, and of course, sharks. If you ever feel like puking while you're scuba diving, vomit into the regulator. Do not remove it from your mouth. Removing it from your mouth will make it impossible to reapply it on your face, meaning that you're probably pretty far underwater, and once you remove that from your face, you probably will most likely drown. Like and follow for more videos.
Okay. I think the last one was pretty...
So, nobody finds it interesting that Moana goes looking for her ancestors that are connected to the sea, and she comes back with
Hello, my friend. How could Moana have African-appearing ancestors if she's meant to be Polynesian? This is an understandable mistake, but the people depicted in Moana 2 are not meant to be African, but instead Melanesians. While the Melanesian appearance shares a lot in common with the appearance of populations in Africa, they're actually further genetically to Africans than Europeans are. The story of Moana is rooted in the history of the Austronesian migration. Around 4,000 years ago, it's understood that Austronesian-speaking people began their voyages from Taiwan, moving across the islands of Southeast Asia. As they sailed, parts of their population settled in islands they crossed, developing into the populations of Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, to name a few. They eventually sailed across the Pacific Ocean, and some even reached Madagascar, leading to the people of Madagascar today. It's the part of the migration where they started sailing across the Pacific Ocean that explains what you saw in the movie. as well as why Polynesians tend to appear physically different than their Indonesian or Filipino cousins. The Austronesians that sailed towards the Pacific began interacting with the Melanesians, who today remain residing in the islands of Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, and Fiji. Over thousands of years, these groups remained interacting with each other, trading goods, ideas, and even genetics. And so that's why Polynesians and, well, Moana would have some Melanesian ancestry.
Celebrities that disappeared and were never found. Bison Dele played in the NBA for 8 years after being drafted in 1991, even winning a championship alongside Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in 1997. Despite having 5 more years and a $45 million contract with the Pistons, he abruptly retired at the age of 30 in 1999. In his retirement, he enjoyed traveling the world in his catamaran boat that he called Hakuna Matata. On July 6 of 2002, Bison, his older brother Miles, his girlfriend Serena, and skipper Bertrand left Tahiti. By July 8th, the family of Bison and Serena had completely lost contact with them. On July 20th, Miles returned to Tahiti with the boat, but this time he was alone. 2 months later, Miles would be arrested in Phoenix for attempting to forge his brother's signature, attempting to buy over $150,000 worth of gold. The boat was discovered off the coast of Tahiti with the nameplate completely removed and possible bullet holes that had been patched. Now, he confessed that him and his brother had gotten into an argument on the boat. Bison's girlfriend was accidentally hit, fell over, and smacked her head on the part of the boat, which resulted in her death. The captain then wanted to report her death, which is why Bison killed him. Miles then shot his brother in self-defense, threw the bodies overboard, and fled back to the US. Obviously, the story doesn't quite add up. Now, before police could even attempt to try and verify his story, he intentionally overdosed on insulin and died September 27th, 2002.
Oh, brother, bro. For some gold, man? He just thought he can sail back and everything would be okay. No, I don't work like that, man. Consequences, reactions. That's an edit.
My biggest fear was having an ugly baby. Now look what the fuck I got. Look at him. He is so funny looking.
How dare you say something like this about your own child? To all the moms watching this, do you think this is normal? Now, I'm not married, I don't have kids, but this is messed up. You've been carrying this child for 9 months. This child is your own skin, and you go and call him ugly publicly online. To me, miss, your child looks adorable. There are women out there that gave birth to babies missing arms and legs, and they were never treated differently than other kids. These kids eventually grow up winning golden medals in Special Olympics.
Talk about it.
But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with your child, miss. What a shame. What a shame.
Yeah, like, but how can you talk about that like your own flesh and blood? Son talking about you have an ugly baby. That was a cute baby. Like, but that doesn't even make sense. In this world of secrets, we have to be better as a people, everybody, but just be better as human beings.
An influencer has died at a creator event hosted by Box Lunch. If you're not aware of the story or of Dominique and the events that led up to this, Dominique Brown is a Disney influencer. She was invited to attend a creator event that was going to be hosted by Box Lunch. Dominique also had a number of severe allergies, which allegedly she had made the events team very aware of. But despite them being aware of that, an incident took place at the event where Dominique suffered a severe allergic reaction. People who were at the event made allegations that she did not receive very necessary medical attention in time, and it was confirmed Dominique did die at the event. The most disturbing and dystopian thing about all of this is that other creators, other influencers who attended this event are allegedly still posting content, positive content from the event, as if this event did not happen.
These are the most haunted places
people do for money.
in the Philippines. Before I start listing them down, you do need to know that for all paranormal investigators, the country of Philippines is on their to-do list, as it's known worldwide for its haunted destinations. Starting at number 4, Fort Santiago, Intramuros in Manila. The walls of Intramuros turn into something terrifying. reminding you of the dark Spanish era. Thousands of civilians and soldiers were tortured and killed in Fort Santiago during World War II. It may be a hot tourist spot, but at night, the strange noises that are heard in this fort tends to keep visitors and tourists away. Number 3. Clark Air Base Hospital in Pampanga. This abandoned building used to be a military hospital during World War II and the Vietnam War. Paranormal investigators have confirmed that demons have conquered this property. It is commonly visited by YouTubers, but things always go wrong. The jinns that are specifically in this hospital are a little more protective towards their home. Number 2. Manila Film Center, Pasay City. This building is potentially one of Asia's most haunted destinations. When a building is haunted in the United States, you will hear noises. But when a building is haunted in the Philippines, it is a whole nother level. This film center was abandoned in the 80s after it collapsed during construction. It killed all the workers, and none of their bodies were retrieved. And ever since, visitors were always warned to stay out of this building. The bad energy in this place spiritually drains you. And finally, number 1, Diplomat Hotel in Baguio City. Baguio City is ranked as the world's most haunted city as a whole. The Diplomat Hotel goes way back to 1911. No priests were able to cleanse this place. After many deaths inside this hotel, the business ceased its operations in 1987. Many paranormal investigators from around the world swore that they would never visit this building again. The Philippines is a beautiful country, but it is well known for its horrifying stories. You tell me, what country should I do next?
Thanks for telling us, man. Now go to the Philippines.
10. Ariana Grande reportedly has a longtime stalker named Paige Neiman who tries to impersonate the famous singer. She's been obsessed with Grande since she was 12 years old and has allegedly undergone several plastic surgeries to look like her despite being only 20 years old. When the Titanic sank, the richest passenger on board was business mogul John Jacob Astor IV, who had enough money in his bank account to build 30 Titanics. He ended up giving up his spot in the final lifeboat to instead save the lives of a random woman and her daughter.
Hero.
These were the last photos of Garrett Miller, taken just minutes before a soccer goalpost tipped over and struck him in the head, killing him instantly. In 2013, a family dog named Killian was protecting a baby boy from an abusive babysitter by standing between them and growling at her. This made the boy's parents suspicious of the babysitter, so they hid a recording device under the couch and heard her swearing at the baby while possibly shaking and slapping him. The sitter eventually pleaded guilty to assault and battery of a child and was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Man's best friend right there, bro.
Toys that have been banned because they're just so dangerous. The first one, I don't know how this was ever legal. It was a yard dart. It had this giant metal spear on the end. You would throw them basically at each other across the yard. These cause lots of damage. This is a little sky flyer. You pulled a string and went flying up, but the dangerous thing here is it would poke people's eyes out because they came out with so much force. This is an atomic hit. It had uranium in it. People were getting radiation. Crazy. Follow for more.
Uranium?
Things happening in the world right now. After a woman took a DNA test for funsies, police used it to charge her grandmother with murder in a cold case. A woman divorced her husband in order to be with Brad Pitt, only to find out that it was an AI scam. A Philadelphia man who was awarded more than $4 million for an overturned murder conviction ended up pleading guilty in a case where he ended a man's life over $1,200. TSA stopped more than 6,000 weapons at airport security in 2024, and 94% of them were loaded. A Texas woman has set the record for donating more than 2,000 liters of her breast milk. The CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, has let the world know that Stevie Wonder demoed the Apple Vision Pro. A man disrupted a TV interview where a woman was speaking on her feelings of being uncomfortable in public places, and he refused to leave. The city of Bend, Oregon recently ordered its citizens to stop putting googly eyes on statues.
Morbid facts, part 511. RFK Jr.'s gravelly speaking voice is caused by a rare neurological condition he developed in his early 40s called spasmodic dysphonia, which causes the muscles that open and close the vocal cords to spasm involuntarily. Here's what he used to sound like before this condition versus after.
And if somebody dumps something into the river that's poison, and it goes into a drinking water intake, and children drink that drinking water, that is child abuse. I think those vaccines we need to have, again, true double-blind placebo-controlled trials on that. There's 25% of Americans.
While the true cause is unknown, people who do a lot of public speaking are far more likely to develop this condition. RFK required a titanium bridge in his vocal folds to be able to speak at all, and receives Botox shots in his vocal cords every 4 months. He says it's painful to hear himself speak and feels sorry for those who have to listen to him.
What happened? What caused it? I guess that's the real question we need to be asking. And public speakers, I guess they're aware of that. Something to think about. Expert level, we know.
Bro, what happened to all of the crazy inventions we used to come up with? Pedestrian safety catchers, baby cages for those who live in a city, multiple changing rooms, projectile nets for police to catch criminals, the freaking mono wheel, and now we've got this. What the hell? Bro, they were even rethinking childbirth from the ground up. Because let me introduce you to the centrifugal birth table. It is a legit invention that was even awarded a patent by the US government in 1963. It works by strapping a pregnant woman to a table lying flat on her back, and then when labor starts, it begins to spin, like fast. 8 Gs kind of fast. That's a fighter pilot territory. The idea was that the centrifugal force would help assist getting the baby out naturally by supplementing the mother's pushing. And then once the big moment arrives, there's a casual safety net at the base of the table to catch the newborn. There was even a little nifty bell built in that would ring once the baby was caught. You know, just in case the doctor wasn't paying attention. Yeah, actually, maybe on second thought we're better off with this.
Unexplained is a camera that will make you question literally everything. This is a video of the president. Now, at first I didn't see what was happening here, but I slowed it down and zoomed in for you. Something's coming out of his sleeve. It looks like a little snake. What is this? Follow for more.
What was that, man? You know, people in power to be having some strange things goes on around them, but there was definitely something, man, that was coming out of his freaking coat jacket.
2025 just got even crazier, part 9. Firstly, Mark Zuckerberg recently had a meeting with Meta employees and told them that everything I say leaks. It sucks. Well, and you probably ask, how do I know this? Well, the meeting's audio was leaked. Next, a man in the US was just arrested for the death of his own friend who claimed he could dodge bullets while they were intoxicated. Unfortunately, the man could not dodge bullets, and it costed his life. Finally, astronomers just discovered an asteroid named 2024 YR4. The good news is, it has a 99% chance of passing by Earth safely. However, the bad news is, it has a 1.3% chance of hitting Earth in the year 2032. But guys, let's not really worry about this until the year 2032 then.
This is why you should always lock your doors. A man in Venezuela was woken up in the dead of night to a strange haunting whistle. At first, he thought it was his mind playing tricks, but then he heard it again.
You hear that, right?
Dragging footsteps echoed through the silence, creeping towards his room.
Closer and closer.
But as whoever's outside arrives at the door, this happens. Something tries to get inside. The man believes he was visited by El Silbón, a wandering spirit of death from Venezuelan folklore, known to enter homes with open doors. The further it sounds, the closer he is.
Facts that might ruin your childhood. Most of your favorite animal actors are probably dead.
Roald Dahl, the famous author of books like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach, was actually really racist. He was known to be very hateful towards Jewish people. In reality, Pocahontas was 10 and John Smith was 28 years old when they met. And if the movie Finding Nemo was scientifically accurate, then Nemo's dad would have become a female after his mom died and mated with his son.
What? I had no idea a clownfish could even do that. That really just freaking made me question my whole childhood, man. The more you know. That's the White House gate. He said, yeah, let me not do this.
Oh, yeah. Look at the dogs.
On sight. Got somebody on the roof too? Oh yeah.
Guys, this area's gonna be closed. Start going either way. Thank you. Thank you.
Extreme plastic surgery fails.
It went through with that?
Nobody has been able to explain this creepy viral video. For the past 11 years, a man who runs a TikTok account by the name of Dude, My House is Haunted has been pretty confident that there has been some paranormal activity within his home. He claims that ever since his wife passed away, there have been some strange and unusual things going on. So eventually, he decided to leave cameras out and record what was happening and post it onto TikTok, which is the footage that you are about to see. In this video, you can see a chair seemingly moving on its own. It moves somewhat slowly until it suddenly is violently pulled into the corner by the kitchen. A mysterious, shadowy figure can be seen moving behind the chair, and then suddenly out of nowhere, the chair is thrown into the kitchen. Now, of course, we're not really sure what happened in this video, but I'm having a hard time coming up with an explanation for this one.
Could be added. Somebody could have been pulling it. That's the shadow.
Forbidden places that you can never visit. Number 1, Area 51 is a highly classified US Air Force facility that has been associated with UFOs, strange government cover-ups, and potentially testing alien technology. Although no one knows for sure what exactly goes on here, what we do know is that the facility itself is actually quite small. But the restricted area in total is about 90,000 acres of land. Next, Banga Fort is said to be the most haunted place in India. According to legend, there was a beautiful princess named Ratnavati and she lived in this fort. Many men wanted her hand in marriage, one of whom was a black magician named Singya. The princess, however, rejected Singya and he laid a curse on the fort which haunts it till this day. There have been numerous stories of people who entered the fort at night and were never seen again. As a result, people have been banned from entering the fort at night. Finally, the Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Grove is said to be a secret group of very powerful people. It's alleged that many presidents and business leaders are parts of this group. Every year they meet up in the woods and perform strange rituals, such as setting fire to a big owl statue. No one else is allowed to go in or take any photos. But a filmmaker named Dwayne Johnson once snuck a camera inside, and he presumably caught the world's most powerful men doing all of these strange things. For more?
He's a legend, man. That's not the first time we heard a group of powerful people came together to do some weird things. You know, man. You know the other groups out there. One of the most famous. I don't have to say it.
Here are creepy and strange videos that no one is able to explain. The next time you're in your room, you may want to check under your bed or behind your wardrobe. In this video, Andy explains his life story in the video chat, but something very sinister lurks in the background. Okay, pay close attention to what happens in the back. From what it looks like, popping right behind, you can see a figure with some hair. No one is sure what it is, but it might be an evil spirit. In this video, we can see a group of kids that are going to dance next to a field while the cows observe from afar. Although everything seems normal, as the kids walk into frame, a boy with a blue shirt emerges from nowhere. Pay close attention again as they walk in. Where does he come from? No one knows. This video starts out with a girl dancing to a popular song on TikTok. However, something very strange happens behind the scenes. As the girl dances, a strange-looking pale hand emerges. And no one knows where it comes from. Be sure to follow me on Instagram for more.
Beware your surroundings. You never know who's watching.
This man took the night shift because nobody wanted to, but a few nights later, he would find out why. Tim from the TikTok page Tim Saber got a job as a night guard at an undisclosed facility. In one of the corridors was an abandoned unit where most of the paranormal events would occur. One night, Tim left his phone to record the abandoned unit, and what he captured disturbed him. A small attic door begins to shake, as if someone or something is up there. Tim grabs a ladder to investigate. What he found is horrifying. There's something in the attic that Tim is not noticing.
I'm getting backroom vibes.
Suddenly, an unexpected loud noise startles Tim. But when he looks again, he finally sees it.
I see that. It's like a little statue. I'm gone, bro. Me personally, I'm out. Deuce.
I want to talk about the O'Fallon footage. On the eastern side of Missouri, a tape was recovered from a camera recorder of a missing man in 2002. This photo found in the footage has marked the most chilling mystery to have ever come out of this county. The man is pictured here. His name was Roy Hafer, and he was sort of an amateur investigator. You know, he would go to scenes with recent crimes, places where he could film, and he could sell the footage hopefully to a news station. And on an evening where he ventured to a hotspot where a woman had gone missing just a year prior, he would never make it home from that abandoned house. A police search was conducted by the following morning, as well as a search of the abandoned home and a search of this underpass where a significant amount of blood was recovered, but his body was not. They would also go on to find his camera recorder, where they would find that final footage. This was the face seen in the last frame of that video footage.
Just disappeared off the face of the earth? What happened?
Animals you probably haven't seen as babies.
What do you mean haven't seen as babies?
Hyenas.
I've seen a baby hyena actually. Tell me that's not adorable. Why is there scary music in the background?
Camels.
Right, I've not seen a baby camel. I'll own that. Oh. Look at the eyelashes. I take it.
Hedgehogs.
That's Sonic.
Hedgehog. Oh, that looks like something else. Oh, he keeps making me take it back. Sloths. Oh my heart, I will adopt one right now.
Raccoons.
This is mine.
Rocket.
Okay, maybe not a rat. They're a bit reckless. Okay, alright. Birds. Yeah. Right, okay. You might have won me over there.
Skunks.
Oh no. There's not room for two smelly people in my house. And I'm enough. Oh.
I ain't getting that baby skunk, bro. If you guys can pick any animals at Dot Secrets, which one would you get, man? I'm getting a hedgehog, bro. Call him Sonic. We know, man. Expert level. Right here.
The man seen stabbing that security camera was 29-year-old Waldo Mejia. Now, the neighbors who noticed this disturbing footage actually called the police on Waldo at the time, and he was arrested. But just a few months later, on January 5th of this year, Waldo attacked a 14-year-old boy who was walking to school. The 14-year-old named Caleb Rios was randomly targeted. There is no prior motive to this attack, and it's still unknown what caused Waldo to snap. But Waldo approached Caleb from behind and began stabbing. And unfortunately, Caleb, the 14-year-old victim, would die from his injuries. Now, this story is disturbing because Waldo had been arrested multiple times in the past, 4 times prior to this murder, including on other stabbing-related charges. Not only had he stabbed his neighbor's Ring video camera, but he had also stabbed somebody in another completely unprovoked attack in New York City. After he was arrested, Waldo was seen screaming expletives at reporters and the authorities, and still there has been no explanation as to why he targeted this random 14-year-old kid on his way to school. If you want to hear more true crime stories, listen to the podcast Murder in America that I co-host with my wife Courtney. It's available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
This video will prove you have thalassophobia.
You passed this video before. Oh, F1. Okay. This one's kind of getting to me, man. You're that high up. It's open sea. If you fall, that's game over, man.
Abandoned house of murdered family.
Going in.
This was once a loving family home but has sat empty since the 1990s when tragedy struck. The family were brutally murdered one night, but the killer was never found. There was talk that on the night in question, there had been an escape from the local psychiatric hospital. Although this was never proven, the locals still believe this was the case. The case was officially closed in the early 2000s.
To this day?
The house now sits, beds made, waiting for the family to come home. There are even plates left in the sink. Locals and prospective buyers do not want the house because of dark figures that are supposedly seen at night.
Don't blame them. Me either. That's bad energy. Bad spirits. You good off that?
This was truly a shocking story, with an even sadder ending.
These are the four most haunted dolls in the world. The first is the Annabelle doll, which inspired the Conjuring movies, which, as you guys know, is one of the most haunted dolls in the world. She's able to not only move herself, but also move objects, and is supposedly inhabited by an extremely demonic being, forcing her to constantly be in a spirit box. Then have Ruby, which in my opinion is one of the most terrifying due to the fact that it's a porcelain doll, which all of our mothers and grandmothers have. Ruby doesn't do anything crazy, but the scariest part is supposedly the ancestor who had this doll prior passed while holding this doll, and now supposedly inhabits it. And it's a porcelain doll, which makes it absolutely terrifying. Then have Letta, who's a 200-year-old doll found underneath a house in Australia, said to make noises in the night, moved by itself, and the owner has a specific account of when he was moving he heard this doll scream while being in the trunk, screaming, "Let me out." I'm good on everything that. Then you have Robert the doll, who in my opinion is probably the most haunted and cursed doll on this list. Said to be so cursed that if you take a picture or look at him without his permission, he can curse you. And this has happened to multiple people who decided to film Robert without his permission. This doll not only moves by itself, but the previous owner has made multiple statements of hearing this doll run inside of the attic. On top of that, the neighbors have seen Robert peeking out the window in the second story, while no one was up there. These dolls, they're scary.
March of 2012,
keep them away from me.
A 5-year-old girl named Maria sat on the floor of her kitchen in a city in northeast Brazil, eating an empada. Just then, the front door opened, and in walked Maria's mother. Right behind her was this young woman. This young woman wants to become her new nanny. In the past, there had been other women who had come by to be her nanny, and it didn't seem to last very long. She told Maria that as soon as they were done, the new nanny would come outside and join her. And after a whole hour had passed by, and still this new nanny had not come outside, a month later, Maria was out in her backyard. She heard a commotion happening inside of her house. And then all of a sudden, these uniformed police officers came charging out the back door towards Maria. It would turn out, Maria's father, George Silvera, was not actually her father, nor was Maria's mother, Isabel Silvera, her actual mother, nor was her aunt, Bruna Silva, actually her aunt. They were instead members of a cult called the Cartel Sect. The literal purpose of the Cartel Sect was to eliminate women they deemed unclean in order to reduce and purify the world's population. They would shoo Maria out into the backyard, and then they would murder the nanny. They would then butcher them and stuff the human meat into their famous empadas and sell them to the people in town. The biggest shock of the story is actually the real identity of little 5-year-old Maria. She was actually the daughter of the very first victim of the Cartel Sect. And ever since, they had just kept Maria and treated her like she was a member of the family. George, Isabel, and Bruna, Maria's fake family, were convicted of 3 murders. As for Maria, according to recent news articles, she was reunited with distant family.
No words for that case, man. That's just mind-blowing. Truly. We seen this, man. We know what this is.
Bizarre facts that'll blow your mind. A bolt of lightning can reach up to 53,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Researchers found by flossing your teeth, you're actually helping to improve your memory. Jack Daniel, the inventor of Jack Daniel's whiskey, died from kicking a safe with his foot. This caused his toe to break, which ended up getting infected, which ultimately led to his death. And finally, Dwayne Johnson holds the world record for the most selfies taken in 3 minutes with 105.
How is he doing that? He was just going like boom, 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 boom.
2024
What?
just got even crazier, part 19. Firstly, meet retired engineer Tom Brown. And after retiring, he wanted to make a difference in the world by saving rare and lost apples from going extinct. And now in 2024, after nearly 25 years of doing this, Tom has saved around 1,200 types of apples from going extinct. You're a legend, Tom. Next, new words were just added to the dictionary, and I'm going to tell you the 3 words that really stuck out to me the most. The first one being bed rotting, which means somebody who spends many hours in a day in their bed with snacks or an electronic device. But it gets more bizarre, because at number 2 is touch grass, which means to participate in real-world activities instead of online ones. Finally, the last word is the ick, which means a sudden feeling of dislike for something or someone. So, how do you guys feel about these new words that were added to the dictionary in 2024?
Touch
So
grass,
this
my
morning I
guy.
got stalked by a coyote. Keep your eye on the background, and then what happens in like 2 seconds.
Here's some coyote advice you never asked for from a man who's never had to deal with them. Anyway, y'all know hazing? No, not the college thing. No. Hazing is putting the fear of God in a wild animal to factory reset its behavior. Here's an example. Basically, you want to give him PTSD so he doesn't come close to anything human. Basically, your goal is to have him racially profiling anything on 2 legs. Jokes aside, coyotes are naturally afraid of us. It's when they lose that fear that the trench puppy becomes a problem. And nothing does that faster than when people feed one, even without realizing it. That goes for any animal. But if you bully them on sight, you help them relearn the price of effing around. It doesn't matter what you say, as long as it's with volume and conviction. Obviously, there are exceptions, like if the coyote's hurt, sick, or with kids, and you want to fall back, or else you might have to cash that check. But you gotta think about how they see us. Coyotes have been getting generationally jumped by wolves. But they also know if they stay close enough, they can get leftovers. Coyotes basically treat us like another wolf, so if one steps up, remind him who you are. Because history has proven what happens when you don't. Tourists in South Africa fed the baboons so much that they started expecting it to the point where they don't fear or respect people. That's how you get carjacked by baboons. Macaques in India have gotten so used to people that the government had used their fear of an even bigger monkey called a langur against them. But since owning a langur is illegal, yep, that man got paid to do that. So unless y'all want to be out here wearing wolf suits, get to hazing.
Who would have
That's
thought that the
insane.
same guy that plays Art the Clown could pull off such an incredible interpretation of the Joker? And I genuinely believe that with the right director and the right script, this guy could actually be the real cinematic Joker. If you haven't seen the 13-minute short Joker's Wild on YouTube, please, I highly recommend it. It's freaking awesome. Because David Howard Thornton, the same exact guy who brought this sadistic clown to the big screen, can also give us one hell of a freaky-ass Joker. Which kind of feels like a more sadistic combination of Cesar Romero and Mark Hamill's version of the Joker, giving us this terrifying cartoonish performance that we haven't really seen in the live-action versions yet. Also, most importantly, the dude can laugh.
He nailed the laugh.
Yeah, that'll do it. Even the way that they designed him in this short, it feels like they ripped him out of the cartoon and put him into this world that just feels so uncanny. But seriously, go watch the full short on YouTube, because I'd really like to see what could be done with this version of the character.
We've already talked about this
Really?
gigantic Moby Dick animatronic that is under the water and has been there since the 60s, but we're going to talk about it again because I had a nightmare about it, and I'm making that everyone else's problem. So yes, this gigantic Moby Dick animatronic was put there in, I think, 1967, and it has since sunk and is still under there. This is a photo taken in 2005 of it just completely submerged underwater. People on YouTube actually have videos of them diving under there, and it's just like a carcass of itself, and I don't even want it. You can't see it very clearly because it's so murky. But like the first thing that started going bad on this animatronic was its jaw was so heavy that it couldn't sit all the way up, so its jaw is eventually what brought it down. Like its gigantic heavy jaw just made it sink to the bottom of the lake. Like see, here's it when its jaw was completely down and it's just sitting completely up like that. It used to come up and down. I'm going to show you a video later, but this is it without its jaw, and And yes, this thing is absolutely huge and life-size. Like here's it with a boat of people. Ew. Here's it when it was being transported into the water for the very first time. Look how tiny these people are in comparison to this gigantic, huge whale animatronic. Whales are my worst fear of all time, but a whale animatronic completely submerged underwater. Miss me with that. Like, of all the animatronics that I've ever covered on this channel, this one scares me the absolute most. I cannot imagine falling in that water with that decayed, horrific, huge fake whale. I would cease to exist. Like, it looks so sad too. Look at Pookie. He looks so sad. So watch this video of it moving and let me know how you feel. Also, if TikTok is banned, please follow me on my YouTube account. It's the exact same name that's on here. I'm going to be doing this exact same thing in the form of YouTube Shorts. I really hope that doesn't actually end up happening. But if so, please check me out on my YouTube. I love you all. Watch this.
Like, imagine that coming out of the water. You think you know it's an animatronic. It's a dark world we live in, man. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, thank you guys for seeking the truth with me today. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on this video. Comment down below. Also, hit that push notification bell so you always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.